The trees were screaming, not with voices, but with the crack of gunfire, the snap of bones, the wet thud of bodies hitting the frozen earth. She had come to the forest for peace. She found only carnage. The clearing was painted in blood. Foxes, wolves, even great stags lay tangled in a pile, dead. The scent of death burned her nose, sharp as iron. The snow, once untouched and white, had been churned into a graveyard of red. And the men laughed. They stood over the bodies, boastings of their kills. No gratitude, no reverence, only greed. She wanted to scream, but the gruesome scene left her speechless. She had never seen so much blood, and for what? Nothing could make her understand the way these animals died here. There were so many bodies. She wondered if there were any left in the forest at all. She took a step forward, her breath shallow, but then she saw it. A stoat, tiny, white as the snow, still alive. It trembled beside the bodies of the others, small enough to be overlooked in the slaughter, but it did not run. Its dark eyes locked onto hers, unblinking, fearless. It did not cower. The courage in something so small, the defiance in the face of death. Something inside her cracked open. The hunters turned, finally noticing her, their laughter dying in their throats. "Be careful, girl. A pretty thing like you shouldn't be in the woods alone." Their words barely touched her. She wasn't afraid of them. She was afraid of what had already been lost. Without a word, she turned and ran. She ran until her legs burned, until the weight in her chest threatened to crush her. She could still hear them, the laughter, the gunfire. She did not know how long she had ran for, only that when she stopped, she was deep within the forest. The air was different, thick with something unseen, something that hummed beneath her skin. She felt an energy pushing her forward. She walked up to a tree. It towered above her, ancient and vast. Its bark twisted and dark, as though it had grown not just through the soil, but through time itself. Its roots curled, reaching fingers thick as boulders. She stepped forward, pressing a trembling hand against the rough bark, and the forest woke up. A surge flooded her veins, knocking the breath from her lungs. She gasped, eyes wide. The wind shifted, the branches trembled, the ground beneath her pulsed. Magic. It unraveled in her like roots breaking free from stone, like something that had been waiting all along. The whispers of leaves became words she could almost understand. The weight in her chest seemed to have purpose. She lifted her hand, and the wind obeyed. The pain from that day dug deep within her, but she never forgot it. The forest had made her an enchantress, and she bore the gift willingly. She was a witch that watched over the woods, and soon her power would be recognized. 20 years later, the hunter arrived on horseback, a stranger in a land that smelled of damp earth and pine. His name was Ronan, and he had traveled far. He was a man of skill, of precision. He had slain beasts across the lands, bears and wolves, even great stags whose heads now adorn the walls of noblemen who paid him handsomely. But it was never enough. The more he hunted, the more he needed. And now he had come to this strange village, lured by whispers of a creature held sacred. The stoat, they called it. A laughable thing, small, insignificant. The idea that these people honored it, protected it, made his blood boil. To him, it seemed just a rat, nothing more. The village was quiet, nestled deep within the forest's embrace. Its people were wary of him, their eyes flickering with something he did not understand. Not fear, but something else. At the tavern, he listened to their whispers. He wanted to know why. "Why would you hold a vermin in such high regard?" he sneered, lifting his tankard to his lips. An old man seated nearby turned his head, studying him. His face was carved by time, his hands rough with the wear of the years. "The stoat is not weak," the elder said. "It is small but mighty." Another villager chimed in. "Fearless, unyielding, powerful despite its size. It is a hunter just as you are, but is hardly seen. It has long been mentioned to be respected amongst our village." Ronan laughed, shaking his head. "It is a creature of fur and teeth, nothing more. A hunter does not bow to prey." The room fell into silence. A woman younger than the others spoke. "You come to our town, an outsider, and disregard our ways." Ronan put up his hand. "Relax, woman, and fear not. I am only curious. I will leave your precious stoat alone." Ronan's words may have fooled the others, but the young woman was not convinced. She whispered below her breath, "May the forest have mercy on you." Ronan left the village before dawn, his mind set, his ego aflame. He had slain beasts 10 times the size of a stoat. He had stood before wolves and not blinked. What was this tiny thing to him? He rode deep into the forest, past the ancient oaks and the silver birch, past the places where the villagers dared not tread. And there, as the sun began to rise, he saw it. A quick movement. A creature, small and sleek, darting across the forest floor. Its fur was rich, red-brown, its belly pale as snow. It stopped, standing tall on its hind legs, staring at him with black, glistening eyes. Ronan grinned. "So this is the mighty beast," he muttered, reaching for his bow. The stoat vanished into the undergrowth. Ronan did not waver. He had found their sacred creature, and he would be the one to end it. Ronan was a patient man. He had learned the ways of the hunt since boyhood, how to track, how to wait, how to end a life without a second thought. And now, deep in the heart of the forbidden woods, he stalked the stoat. He watched for hours, hidden among the brambles. They danced through the undergrowth, their sleek bodies slipping through the shadows like spirits. They were small, agile, and indeed fearless. But this did not stop Ronan. He would catch the stoat, and he didn't care what anyone said. He wanted that soft hide, and knew he would be praised for killing such a clever creature. With calculated ease, Ronan set his trap. A simple snare placed where the creatures lingered. By dusk, he had caught one. A young stoat, its fur a blend of white and russet, struggled against the binding rope. Its dark eyes burned with wild defiance. Ronan knelt before it, tilting his head. "Mighty little thing, aren't you?" he mused. With no remorse or hesitation, he drew his blade. "Stop." The word was soft, yet it commanded his attention. Ronan's grip tightened around his knife as he turned. A woman stood among the trees. She was small, no taller than his shoulder, wrapped in a deep emerald cloak that glistened in the moonlight. Her hood was drawn, shadowing most of her face, but her lips were pressed into something between sorrow and disapproval. Her hands, delicate yet strong, rested lightly at her sides. But there was power in her presence, and something about her unnerved him. "Why do you ignore the village's wisdom?" she asked. Her voice was quiet, but it carried through him like a wind through hollow bones. "Why take what you do not need?" Ronan smirked, rolling his shoulders. "The beliefs of villagers are not my own," he said. "I do as I please." The woman did not move, but the air around her seemed to bend with her. "I am giving you a chance," she said. "A final warning." Ronan laughed. "A warning? From you?" He gestured at her, small, slight frame. "What could you possibly do?" And with that, he drove his blade into the stoat's throat. The animal let out the faintest sound, more breath than cry, before its body fell still. The woman's eyes widened in anger. She raised her hand, and the forest felt her sorrow and rage. The air thickened as roots unearthed themselves, wrapping tightly around Ronan. He couldn't move. His breath became strangled as the vines lashed around his throat. He choked, clawing at the air as the tendrils squeezed, dragging him backwards and slamming him against a tree. The woman stepped forward. She was small, but now the whole forest seemed to bend to her will. The wind whipped around her, leaves spiraling like embers in a firestorm. Her eyes burned with fury. Her voice cut through the silence like a blade. "You came to a land that is not yours. You walked into a village that welcomed you. You disrespected the laws of this land," she hissed. "Let's see how you like becoming a part of it." She raised her hand and the vines released his throat, just enough for him to gulp in air. He sagged against the tree, wheezing, but the relief was brief. A deep rumble echoed through the earth. The very roots of the forest twisted, groaning beneath them. "You are nothing, Ronan. Nothing but a man who believes himself above consequence. But you will learn." She lifted both hands. The wind howled, the earth shook. "Wait!" Ronan gasped. He struggled harder, his chest rising and falling in panic. "Have mercy!" Her expression remained unmoved. "Mercy," she echoed. The words hung in the air, empty and weightless. She lifted her hand one last time. "Like the mercy you gave this stoat. No, you will live as what you kill," she said. Ronan's body convulsed. Pain shot through his limbs, burning, twisting, reshaping. His spine curled in on itself. His fingers shrunk, stretching into tiny, delicate paws. His jaw narrowed, his teeth sharpening, his bones snapping into something smaller, something weaker. He let out a cry, but it came out as a high-pitched squeal. His vision blurred. Everything around him was taller. The woman loomed over him now, her form impossibly large. Now he was shrinking. He collapsed onto all fours, his mind spinning. "You will scurry in the shadows now, Hunter." Her voice was cold, merciless. "You will run, you will hide, and you will know fear as all hunted creatures do." She knelt, tilting her head, "And soon, you will forget you were ever a man at all." The last thing Ronan saw before his mind was lost was her smile. A slow, knowing smile, and then nothing. The witch watched the man, now a stoat, scurrying away. Slowly she stepped forward. The wind shifted around her, carrying the scent of ice and pine. The witch's cloak trembled, then melted away. She had effortlessly transformed into another stoat, but not an ordinary one. Her fur seemed to glow, rippling like an aurora. The glow of unseen magic pulsed beneath her skin. Her eyes gleamed, old, knowing, and eternal. She bounded up and down and vanished into the night.